Musketeer is a new personal security app which allows users to alert people nearby in case of an emergency, making the initial response quicker and more efficient. The app downloads in Europe surged recently, mainly after the terrorist attacks in Brussels and previously in Paris. Laura Frzinski has a report.
One for all and all for one is a motto traditionally associated with Alexander Dumas' novel, The Three Musketeers. But the concept behind the ideas underlying the credo have been adopted by Colonel Shaul Avidov, the former commander of IDF's Armory Division. Avidov, who risked his life to protect others, one day realized the need to extend the principle to other arenas.
I was shocked to hear about this terrible rape of two young women just outside the full nightclub. Understanding that no one inside the club knew anything about what is going on about 20 meters from there.
While searching for online solutions, Avidov came across several security apps, but all were based on a closed circuit of contacts or emergency operators.
First, as an assumption that we have in Musketeer, that in time of trouble, the first help would always come for a person nearby.
Avidov decided to act, forming the first ever communal security mobile application, aptly named Musketeer. The app allows its users to share their exact location with others nearby in the event of an emergency.
I was shocked from the number of people that leave everything and just run to help.
In Nahalal, Avidov's hometown, where he first launched the app, it's used by almost 90% of the residents.
This is another base, I would say, a value that strengthens the entire community, that you can always help each other, and you can, on the other side, can get help.
Musketeer spread quickly to other parts of Israel as well, with almost 40,000 users in more than 1,200 different locations. One might argue that Israel is unique because of the need to constantly combat terror. As for the rest of the world,
after the last attack about 2 weeks ago, we saw an instant increase of downloads in Europe, especially in Brussels, also in London and in Paris.
Is the Western world facing a new reality? The past 6 months have proven that terror can target anyone, anywhere, including major European capitals.
There is a huge question: what gives us security? Guns, weapons? But we know from all the history that what really gives a person a security in all the levels of his being is the fact that he feels safe with the people who surrounds him.
It is becoming clearer and clearer that combating terror will eventually be an international mission. Individuals understand it better than government officials. It might be the beginning of a global security community.
With us today in the studio is Dan Levinson, president of the Canadian Association of Criminology and Legal Studies. Hi, Dan. Good to have you on the show.
How are you?
I know that you participated this week in Israel's Security Convention. Are we really on the brink of the global civil security era?
Well, it's a big way of putting it, but I think that is correct. Whether you call it global civil security or not, you certainly see that the participation of the public is required in order to provide effective and efficient emergency services for all kinds of incidents.
And speaking of emergency services, you personally serve on the board of Magen David Adom, Israel's ambulance services. How do the emergency services view apps like the ones we saw before, these initiatives?
So, just like we saw in the last bit of the article, there was a lady talking about what gives us security. What gives us a sense of safety? She said weapons and guns and so on. Safety in numbers is important, but I would say that one of the most important things is information. So when you have the information, first of all, if you feel that you're able to call out to others when you're in distress, it gives you a sense of safety. And when you're in a situation where you know that there's an incident happening near you and you know what the incident is, you can then assess very intuitively whether you can intervene or not. For example, if there's a sexual assault like the developer discussed in the article. Sure, if you're in a nightclub and you do have this app and you know that there's a sexual assault happening in the room next to you, then you're able to intervene. If you know that there's a bombing or there's some kind of a knife attack, maybe you'll choose to run away.
Dan, such developments, such apps actually reveal a victim's location. Can it be used maybe by, evil forces, perpetrators?
I think we have to remember that, first of all, not always there is a perpetrator, right? A lot of emergency incidents are medical emergencies, fire emergencies, not necessarily security. It's not a person that's creating the incident. And of course, if it is a terrorist organization that somehow is able to take advantage of this app, that's also possible. If they know that if the friends of the terrorist cell, the members of the terrorist cell, use this app to know that one of them was able to create the first incident, and now it's their turn to create the additional incident like we saw in Brussels, it could be abused, but I think that the benefits far outweigh the risks here.
Dan Levinson, thank you so much for this.